second wave of device explosions killed 20 people and wounded more than 450 others in Hezbollah strongholds in Lebanon. Well, according to sources, walkie-talkies used by Hezbollah members blew up in Beirut stronghold, with state media reporting similar blasts in South and East Lebanon in the past 2 days. Japanese firm FMICOM said that it had stopped producing the model of handheld radios or walkie-talkies reportedly used in the blast in Lebanon around 10 years ago, that is. In a statement, the company said that the IC V82, which is a handheld radio, was manufactured and exported, including to West Asia, from 2004 to October 2014, and it was then discontinued. It added that the goods for overseas markets were sold exclusively through its authorized distributors and that its export program is based on Japanese security trade control regulations. The Japanese firm said it was probing the issue after reports of the two-way radio devices bearing its logo exploded in Lebanon. The United States has said that it was not involved in a series of explosions of pagers and walkie-talkies in Lebanon that Hezbollah has blamed on Israel. U.S. National Security Council spokesperson John Kirby has warned all sides against escalation in West Asia following 2 days of device blasts in Lebanon. U.S. agencies say Iranian hackers sent emails containing stolen materials from former U.S. President Donald Trump's campaign to those involved in handling U.S. President Joe Biden's then re-election campaign, that is before he announced that he would not be running for the White House. They claimed it was a part of an alleged broader effort by Tehran to influence the U.S. polls. In a joint statement now, the FBI, Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency and also the Office of the Director of National Intelligence said that the Iranian hackers have continued their efforts since June to send stolen, non-public material associated with Trump's campaign to U.S. media organizations. The United Nations General Assembly passed a non-binding resolution demanding an end to Israel's occupation of Palestinian territory within the next 12 months. The resolution was passed by an overwhelming margin, that is 124 voted in favor, 14 voted against, and 43 abstained from voting. During the UNGA's 10th emergency special session, considering Israeli actions in occupied East Jerusalem and the rest of the territory, the resolution demanded that Israel should comply with all its legal obligations under international law, including advisory opinions by the International Court of Justice. Colombia's government peace delegation says it has called off peace talks with leftist rebel groups, which is the National Liberation Army. This comes following an attack which killed 2 soldiers and injured more than 2 dozen. The attack, which accused the talks to be suspended, took place on Tuesday in a rural area of Colombia's Arauca province, which borders Venezuela. The government had restarted negotiations with the L at the end of 2022 and held around 6 rounds of talks with the rebel group in Mexico, Cuba and Venezuela. Well, the latest decision to suspend peace talks is being seen as a blow to President Gustavo Petro's total peace policy. which look to remove the group from its role in the country's 6 decades of internal armed conflict. North Korea state media has released pictures of its leader Kim Jong-un watching a tactical ballistic missile test and also holding a rifle believed to be manufactured by the Academy of Defense Sciences. North Korea tested new tactical ballistic missiles using super large warheads and modified cruise missiles on Wednesday, the second missile launch in a week. The latest tests come as Kim Jong-un called for stronger conventional weapons and nuclear capabilities. Indonesia's parliament has passed President-elect Pravo Subianto's maiden budget for 2025, with spending set at $237 billion and the fiscal deficit predicted to be around 2.53% of GDP. The budget assumes economic growth of 5.2%, a small increase from 2024's forecast of 5.1%. According to reports, the budget accommodates key programs including a free meal, policy for children, free health checkups, building of hospitals and renovating schools, and also food security initiatives. Pravo will start his 5-year term on October 20th. Vietnamese real estate tycoon Trong My Lan, who had already been sentenced to death for financial fraud, attended her second trial in Vietnam's largest fraud case. This is according to state media reports. In a second trial, she faces new charges including appropriation of property by fraud and money laundering. She has been accused of cleansing more than $18 billion obtained from fraud. Venezuelan opposition presidential contestant Edmundo Gonzalez has claimed that he had been coerced into signing a letter distributed by the authorities in which he supposedly conceded election defeat to Nicolas Maduro. Publishing his message on X from Madrid, where he has been given asylum after weeks in hiding in Venezuela, Gonzalez said he was made to sign the letter in exchange for being allowed to leave. Gonzalez claimed that Maduro aides brought him the letter at the Spanish embassy and claimed that he was told to either sign it or deal with the consequences. Venezuela's Attorney General says he will seek an arrest warrant against Argentine President Javier Milei, Minister of Security Patricia Bullrich and Secretary General of the Presidency Karina Milei. This in the case of a cargo plane seized in Buenos Aires. The Argentine government has condemned the arrest. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa praised the innovation displayed at this year's Africa Aerospace and Defense Expo show in Pretoria. Visiting the exhibition at Air Force Base, he stressed on the need for innovation in South Africa's defense sector. He was seen touring the expo with his defense minister and other defense officials. One of the world's most active volcanoes in Hawaii has erupted again. Aerial footage showed lava fountains as Hawaii's Kilauea volcano erupted in a remote area of Hawaii. The volcano's national park geologists said that 32 feet high lava fountains created lava flows on the floor of Napao crater. Local reports claim Kilauea erupted on Sunday night in an area which is close to the public. The volcano's activity increased early Tuesday but did not threat homes or infrastructure. Well, in 2019, a string of earthquakes and major eruption at Kilauea led to the destruction of hundreds of homes and businesses back then. Thousands of firefighters are racing against time to extinguish over 100 wildfires in northern Portugal. Well, according to reports, 7 people have died since the worst spate of fires in recent years spread out of control over the weekend. The Portuguese Prime Minister declared a state of calamity for the hardest hit areas, invoking powers to mobilize more firefighters there and civil servants in the area. According to the European Satellite Service, over 15,000 hectares had been scorched and a combined 13 kilometers of fire fronts have been detected. Rescuers successfully freed a juvenile blue whale that had wedged itself underneath a private wharf in New Zealand's Pravo Island. According to the Department of Conservation, the whale showed a little distress as a barge was brought in to dismantle the wharf underneath which it was wedged. The whale later swam into deeper waters after being freed. The blue whales are a subspecies of the blue whale which are found in New Zealand's waters. Hong Kong Central Bank cuts its base rate by half a percentage point to 5.25% on Thursday, the first reduction since 2020. This move mirrors the US Federal Reserve's rate cut as a part of the city's currency pegged to the US dollar. The cut could offer relief to Hong Kong's real estate market, which has struggled with falling property prices. Experts at Bloomberg suggest that the decline in housing prices may slow by 2025 as lower rates open up cheaper mortgage financing. Following the announcement, the Hang Seng Index rose 1.2%, with tech and property stocks gaining more than 2%. The United Auto Workers Union is preparing for possible strikes against Stellantis, accusing the company of breaking its contract promises. UAW President Sean Fenn warned that multiple union chapters were preparing to strike, potentially shutting down Stellantis' US operations. Well, this follows last year's 6-week strike, which cost Stellantis over $834 million in profit. The timing is major as Stellantis' North American operations struggle and the 2024 U.S. election race intensifies. Vice President Kamala Harris has been endorsed by the UAW, that's the Union Auto Workers in the U.S. The strikes, if they occur outside typical 4-year contract negotiations, would be highly unusual. Argentina's economy contracted 1.7% in the second quarter of 2024 compared to the previous quarter. This marks the fifth consecutive annualized quarterly decline, and the nation, already in a technical recession, saw its GDP shrink 1.7% year-on-year, below the forecasts. While agriculture surged, construction, manufacturing and retail suffered declines. Consumption and private investment also fell, although exports increased. President Javier Milei's austerity measures aimed at curbing inflation and restoring fiscal stability have intensified economic challenges, raising poverty and unemployment in the country. Google's parent company Alphabet has urged the London tribunal to throw out a mass lawsuit that accuses the tech giant of abusing its dominance in the online search market. UK had fined Google $9.3 billion for shutting out competition in mobile search and driving up prices for consumers as a result. And this case is one of the several multi-billion-dollar cases to have been filed at UK's Competition Appeal Tribunal in recent years, including a similar case against Google for abusing its dominance in the online ad market. Meanwhile, the tech giant is currently facing a major antitrust trial in the United States over its online ad business. The United States is all set to convene a global safety summit on AI on the 20th and 21st of November in San Francisco. U.S. Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo and Secretary of State Antony Blinken will host the first meeting of the International Network of AI Safety Institutes. The AI Safety Summit's network members include Australia, Canada, the European Union, France, Japan, Kenya, South Korea, Singapore, UK and the US. FBI Director Christopher Wray, while speaking at a cybersecurity conference in Washington, announced that US law enforcement has disrupted a second major Chinese hacking group nicknamed Flax Typhoon. Wray said Flax Typhoon was being run by a Chinese company called the Integrity Technology Group. The Chinese company, posing as an IT firm, collected intelligence and spied on innocent victims on behalf of Chinese government security agencies. This is a giant humanoid robot manufactured specially for railway maintenance. It's called Jinky Tide Zero version 2.0. The company claims the giant humanoid robot will help workers during railway maintenance tasks by reducing the risk of electrocution and falls. Currently on display at Japan Robot Week, railway workers can control the robot through VR helmets and a remote control. Well, the manufacturers are hoping to see the robot widely being used in areas such as civil engineering and road construction in the future.
ロボットを使用する環境に対するセキュリティや